Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle? The same problem, with a different face, appears again and again. You strive, you fight, but it seems like an invisible force always pulls you back to the same place. This isn't bad luck. It's a pattern. And today I'm going to show you the only thing you need to do to break this pattern forever. In the next few seconds, I'm going to give you the key that unlocks it. A principle that, once understood, makes it impossible to go back to being who you were. But the key is only the beginning. The real secret, what truly changes the course of your life, lies in how you use this key, and that I will only reveal at the end. This knowledge is not a theory. It is a mechanism, a law of reality as fundamental as gravity, but operating on the invisible plane of your own mind. The truth is that your life is not stagnant due to external forces. It is paralyzed by a single powerful reason that operates silently from the inside out. It is a force that you yourself feed without realizing it. And the first part of your liberation is this: your external reality is merely a mirror, a direct reflection of what is happening within you. Every frustration, every blockage, is an echo of internal resistance. Now that you know this, the question changes. It's no longer, "Why does this happen to me?" but rather, "What within me is creating this?" The answer to this question is a three-phase process that we will unravel together. The first phase will shock you with its simplicity. The second will test you, and the third will set you free. But you need to follow the order. Skipping any step is guaranteeing that the cycle will repeat itself. If you are ready to stop fighting shadows and finally turn on the light, stay with me. What happens next is not just information, it's an initiation. If you felt the truth in these words, comment below. I'm ready to see the reflection. The secret that won't appear twice. There comes a point in life when repetition becomes unbearable. The same cycle of effort and frustration. The same feeling that something greater is being denied to you. If this feeling resonates in your soul, understand that it was not chance that brought you here. You were guided to a crossroads, a turning point where ancient knowledge, guarded for millennia, resurfaces. This is not ordinary content. It is a portal. And the key it offers will not be presented to you a second time. What you are about to hear has the power to dissolve the reality you know and rebuild it from a new axis, an axis of conscious power. Pay close attention, for the universe rarely repeats its deepest secrets. Each word has been designed to awaken a dormant memory within you, the memory of who you were before you forgot your own power. This is the threshold. The decision to cross it is yours, and it must be made now. The truth is, your life isn't stagnant because of bad luck or external forces. It's paralyzed by a single, powerful reason that operates silently from the inside out. It's a force you yourself feed without realizing it. Most people spend their entire lives fighting the effects, never seeing the cause. Today, that blindness ends. You are about to look directly at the central gear that drives your existence. And before we take the next step to understand this mechanism, I need to ask you a sincere question. Have you ever felt that you understand the theory, but you still lack the instruction manual to apply it in practice? What we are discussing here is only the tip of the iceberg of an ancient body of knowledge. There is a deep code that explains exactly how the ancient masters, such as Thoth himself, used frequency and the word to shape matter. I decided to make this entire secret available in my newest ebook. The Logos Code, the history and knowledge of Thoth, for those who feel they did not arrive here by chance and who want to master the architecture of their own mind. If you want to go beyond the surface and access the practical keys to resonance and conscious manifestation, I left access to this material in the first pinned comment of this video. It is an invitation for those who have decided that today is the day to stop being a spectator and become the architect of their own life. But now, take a deep breath, because what I'm about to reveal to you about the nature of your reality demands brutal honesty. This knowledge doesn't require blind faith, but rather brutal honesty with yourself. It will illuminate the dark corners of your mind, the parts you avoid, the patterns you've normalized. The transformation that begins here is not comfortable, it's visceral. It's a complete recalibration of your being, starting with a single shocking revelation about the nature of your own reality. The journey we propose isn't about adding new techniques or empty affirmations. It's about a fundamental removal, a purification. You won't learn to create a new life. You will remember how you stopped creating the life that was always meant for you. The power is already there, buried under layers of forgetfulness and resistance. Our only job is to dig it up, silence the distractions, be present. What will be revealed next is the missing piece of the puzzle of your existence. It is the hidden mechanism behind every success and every failure you have ever experienced. Once you understand it, nothing will ever be the same again. The very structure of your reality is about to be exposed. The life you experience, with its joys and challenges, is a direct reflection of what goes on in your mind. Think of it as a giant movie projector. The film that plays internally, woven from your beliefs, fears, and hopes, is precisely what manifests in the outside world. Before any event occurs in your life, it first existed as a thought, an intention, a frequency. You are not just living your life, you are creating it every second. This is not a new or metaphorical idea. Over 1,800 years ago, the philosopher Plotinus taught that material reality is the last layer of manifestation, the densest point of an emanation that begins in the realm of the invisible. What he described as an emanation from the One, modern science is beginning to call the quantum field. Your consciousness, your focus, collapses infinite possibilities into a single concrete experience. You are the cause. The world is the effect. The fundamental mistake is believing that you are a victim of circumstances. You are not. You are the author of them. Every emotionally charged thought is an instruction sent to the universe. Every deeply ingrained belief is a command for reality to organize itself in a specific way. Your financial situation, your relationships, your health, none of that happens to you. It all happens through you as a direct response to your internal vibration. Understand the depth of this. It's not about superficial positive thinking, it's about the frequency your being emits 24 hours a day. A person who feels internally scarce, even if they repeat affirmations of abundance, is projecting scarcity. The universe doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your frequency, to the truth of your emotional and vibrational state. Your external reality is the perfect echo of your internal state. This means that the power to change anything in your life isn't out there. It's not in a new job, a new relationship, or more money. The power lies in rewinding the film. It lies in accessing the projection room of your own mind and consciously choosing which story will be told. You have the ability to edit the script at any time. But to do so, you first need to admit that you are the one writing it. Most people live as if they were watching a horror movie, unaware that they have the remote control in their hand. They scream at the screen, are frightened by the scenes, but never pause to question who chose that film. From today on, you stop being a passive spectator. You get up, walk to the projector, and take your place. But if we are the creators, why do so many of us project a reality of pain? The answer lies in collective amnesia. The Great Amnesia. If we are the creators of our reality, why do so many of us create scarcity, conflict, and pain? The answer doesn't lie in a character flaw or divine punishment. The answer, as Plotinus suggested, is more subtle and tragic. The problem isn't that we are disconnected from the creative source of the universe. That would be impossible. The problem is that we have forgotten our connection. We suffer from a profound spiritual amnesia. This amnesia is the true cause of low frequency, fear, and limitation. By forgetting that we are an extension of an infinite source, we begin to believe that we are small, separate, and powerless. And from this belief, like a director who has forgotten he is on a film set, we begin to project a reality that confirms this illusion of separation. The world becomes a dangerous place, and we, its victims. Its essential nature is not one of lack, but of infinite creation. Power doesn't need to be acquired, it needs to be rediscovered. Your soul carries the memory of your origin, of your connection to all that exists. But that memory has been buried by years of social conditioning, by voices that told you that you weren't good enough, that the world is a place of competition and that resources are limited. You believed the lie of separation, and this belief has become the lens through which you see the world. It colors every perception, every decision. When you believe in scarcity, you see competition everywhere. When you believe in your insignificance, you feel intimidated by any challenge. Your reality is not objective. It is an interpretation filtered through this amnesia. You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you believe it to be. Spiritual awakening isn't about becoming something you're not. It's about remembering who you've always been. It's the process of shaking off that amnesia, of healing that perceived fracture between you and the source. It's looking at your own hands and recognizing the power they hold. It's understanding that the universe isn't outside of you, conspiring for or against you. The universe is responding to you. The first step to freedom is not learning a new technique, but rather recognizing the prison. The prison is that false identity, that small, separate self that you have assumed to be true. As long as you identify with it, you will continue to project the bars of your own cell. The path back home, to your power, is not a journey of addition, but of subtraction. It is a process of stripping away what is false, layer by layer. The mirror of the mind. The path back to this creative power doesn't involve adding something to yourself, but rather removing what isn't yours. Imagine your mind as a perfect mirror. Its natural function is to reflect the light of the creative source, the infinite intelligence of the universe, in a pure and clear way. This light is your true essence, your unlimited potential. When the mirror is clean, your reality manifests harmony, flow, and abundance effortlessly. However, throughout life, this mirror has been covered with layers of dust and dirt. Each limiting belief imposed upon us is a layer of dust. Each unresolved trauma is a grease stain, Each fear that has become second nature is a crack that distorts the image. The light from the source never stops emanating, but the reflection we see in our reality comes out distorted, stained, fragmented. The work of inner transformation is not about building something new, but rather about cleaning the mirror. It is an act of purification, of removing illusions, so that your true essence can finally be reflected in the world without distortion. You don't need to become more spiritual, more deserving, or more powerful. You only need to remove what is blocking the expression of the power that already resides within you. It is a return to your original state of clarity. People relentlessly search for more information, more techniques, more rituals, believing they need to add something to fix their lives. They are trying to paint a beautiful picture on a dirty mirror. The result is always frustrating. True wisdom lies not in adding, but in letting go. Letting go of beliefs that no longer serve you. Letting go of stagnant emotions. Letting go of the victim identity you carry. This cleansing process is what the ancients called epistrophe, the return to the origin. It's a journey inward, not outward. It requires courage to look at the dirt that has accumulated in the mirror, at the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. But it's only by facing this dirt that you can begin to clean it. Each layer of dust removed allows more light to pass through, and your external reality begins to change instantly. You are not broken, you are merely obscured. Your soul, your true self, is intact and perfect beneath all these layers. The life you desire doesn't need to be conquered. It needs to be allowed. And that permission happens when you commit to the work of cleaning your own mirror. The first step in this cleaning is identifying where the dirt is thickest, where your hand is most tightly closed. The open hand ritual. Now let's look at an immediate application. Stop for a moment and observe your life. Where are you holding on too tightly? It could be money, with a constant fear of running out, causing you to obsessively control it. It could be relationships, with a paralyzing fear of being abandoned, leading you to smother the other person. It could be control over the future, with a desperate need for things to turn out exactly as planned. This tension, this act of holding on, is the physical manifestation of attachment. The great sage Lao Tzu taught that attachment is resistance to the natural flow of life, the Tao. Life, like a great river, needs to flow. When you hold on, when you try to dam the water out of fear, you don't create security. You create a swamp. Energy stagnates, the water rots, and life, which should be vibrant, becomes heavy and motionless. The first step in the transformation ritual is this. Identify a specific area of your life where you feel this attachment, this fear of letting go. Be honest. Is it your job? Your reputation? The opinion of others? Acknowledge the clenched fist. Feel the tension in your muscles, the anxiety in your mind. Don't judge, don't criticize yourself, just observe. This act of witnessing is the first ray of light that begins to dissolve the darkness. That clenched fist represents your resistance becoming physical. It's your belief in scarcity translating into a bodily and energetic contraction. You can't receive anything new with closed hands. The universe may be trying to give you a gift, an opportunity, a solution. But if your fists are clenched by fear, the gift simply has nowhere to land. Abundance requires an open vessel. The root of all suffering, as Buddha said, is attachment. Attachment is not love. Attachment is fear disguised as love. Fear of losing, fear of not having, fear of not being enough. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you trust. You trust that by opening your hand, the river of life will continue to flow, bringing what is needed at the right time. It means exchanging control for trust. Your immediate task is this: find your swamp, find the area of your life where energy is stagnant, where fear holds you captive. Name it, look at it without looking away. This is the starting point for your liberation. By identifying the clenched fist, you have created an entry point. Now you can begin the subtle and powerful work of relaxing your fingers one by one. Once you identify attachment, the mind's natural tendency is to fight against it. You try to force open your hand, fight the fear, suppress the thought of scarcity. But this approach only creates more tension. Fighting resistance is, in itself, a form of resistance. The ancient wisdom of Taoism teaches us a more elegant path. Wu Wei, effortless action, non-action that accomplishes everything. Instead of fighting fear, you welcome it. You invite it close and investigate it with curiosity, not hostility. Ask yourself with genuine interest, what is the fundamental belief behind this fear? What terrible thing do I believe will happen if I let go of control in this area? What catastrophe is my mind predicting? Follow the thread of fear to its origin. Generally, at the root of this fear, you will find a core belief of scarcity or distrust in the flow of life. A belief such as, if I don't control everything, chaos will ensue, or there isn't enough for everyone, so I need to hold on to mine, or if I relax, something bad will happen. These are not universal truths. They are mental programs that you have learned and internalized. The Wu Wei practice here is not about forcing a new optimistic belief onto the old one. That would just be another layer of paint on a dirty mirror. The practice is simply about questioning the validity of the old belief. Ask, is this belief 100% true? Is there any evidence in my life or in the world that contradicts it? By doing this, you introduce a small crack in the rigid structure of the belief. You allow the river water to dissolve the stone, gently, without violence. Effortless action is like the sun melting ice. It doesn't forcefully break the ice, it simply shines, and the ice transforms into water. Your awareness, your curious and non-judgmental attention, is the sun. By illuminating the limiting belief, you naturally begin to diminish its power over you. Resistance is not an enemy to be defeated. It is a teacher in disguise. It is showing you exactly where your mirror is dirtiest, where your energy is most blocked. By approaching it with the gentleness of water and the persistence of the sun, you begin to release control not through force, but through understanding. And it is this gentle release that allows life to flow again. To sustain this practice, you need a clear structure. The 4 pillars of frequency. To support this new way of being, this shift from control to flow, we need a practical structure. Your vibrational frequency, the radio station you tune into to create your reality, is not something abstract. It is supported by 4 concrete and observable pillars in your daily life: your beliefs, your emotions, your communication, and your actions. These 4 pillars together form the operating system of your reality. The first pillar is your beliefs. They are the invisible architecture of your mind. Limiting beliefs about money, love, or your own worth are the blueprint for a reality of scarcity. They are resistance in its purest and most fundamental form. Questioning and making these beliefs more flexible is the most profound work you can do. It's like redesigning the blueprint of your house to allow for more light and space. The second pillar is your emotions. Emotions like fear, anger, or shame, when unprocessed, become the energy that fuels the projection of scarcity. They are resistance in its most volatile state. Consciously feeling and releasing these emotions instead of suppressing or reacting to them is like cleaning the electrical wiring in your house, preventing short circuits and allowing energy to flow freely. The third pillar is your communication. Every word you speak is an incantation. Communication that constantly complains about lack, criticizes others, or describes yourself as a victim is actively reinforcing resistance. It's like painting the walls of your house with colors that depress you. Changing your language to one that describes what you want to create instead of what you fear is one of the quickest ways to change your frequency. The fourth and final pillar is your actions. Inaction due to fear of making mistakes, procrastination, or the repetition of self-sabotaging behaviors are the ultimate manifestation of resistance. They are the walls and furniture of your prison. Acting in alignment with the new reality you wish to create, even if it's a small step, is what makes the transformation real and tangible. Action anchors the new frequency in the physical plane. Working on these four pillars is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. It's the daily process of cleaning the mirror and keeping your hands open. They are not separate, they influence each other. A new action can change a belief. Releasing an emotion can transform your communication. This complete system is your map to realigning who you are with your creative nature. The first practical step begins with observation. The preparation phase. The first practical step in our three-phase ritual is preparation. This phase is the most crucial because without it, any attempt at change will be superficial. For the next 7 days, your sole focus will be conscious and relentless observation. You will become a scientist of your own resistance. The only tool you need is a small notebook or a notes app on your phone. Nothing more. Your mission is simple. Record every time you notice your hand clenching. Note the scarcity thought that crosses your mind when you look at your bank account. Note the word of complaint that comes out of your mouth about your job. Note the pang of fear you feel when thinking about a new project. Note the hesitation to act, the urge to procrastinate. Be a relentless detective of your own patterns. It is vital that, during this phase, you do not try to change absolutely anything. Do not judge yourself. Do not correct yourself. Do not try to force positive thinking. Your only job is to observe and record, like a seismograph recording earthquakes. The act of witnessing without judgment is incredibly powerful. It brings a neutral and compassionate light to the shadows of your subconscious, where these patterns operate unseen. At the end of each day, read your notes. You will begin to see patterns emerging with shocking clarity. You will see how a thought of, "I'm not good enough," belief, leads to a feeling of anxiety, emotion, which makes you say, "I can't do this," communication, and results in you not sending that important email, action. You will see how the four pillars dance together to create your current reality. You are mapping the territory of your own resistance. Before you can redesign a city, you need an accurate map of what it is like now. This notebook will become your map. It will show you the dead ends, the dangerous neighborhoods, and the fragile structures of your inner landscape. This is the most honest work you can do for yourself. It is the foundation upon which all transformation will be built. Do not underestimate the power of this phase. Often, the simple act of bringing an unconscious pattern into the light of consciousness is enough for it to begin to lose its strength. You are removing the power that ignorance gave to these patterns. You are preparing the ground, loosening the soil compacted by habit, so that in the next phase, the seed of change can finally germinate. The execution and maintenance phase. After 7 days of observation, you will have a clear map of your resistance. Now you enter the execution phase. Don't try to fix everything at once. That would be overwhelming and lead to failure. Instead, choose a single resistance you noted, the smallest and most manageable one. Choose the battle you know you can win. The goal here is to create a moment of victory, however small. With that small resistance in mind, practice the act of consciously letting go. If your pattern was the fear of spending a little money on yourself, the execution is to go and buy that special coffee you've been denying yourself for months. If the pattern was the fear of expressing your opinion in a meeting, the execution is to raise your hand and share a single idea. It's a small, deliberate act of trusting the flow, an action that directly contradicts the old pattern. This act doesn't need to be grand. It needs to be intentional. In the moment of action, be fully present. Feel the fear, but act anyway. Observe the story your mind tells you about why this is dangerous or irresponsible, and yet perform the action. This is the turning point. It's the moment you prove to yourself on a physical level that the limiting belief is not an absolute law. You survived. The world didn't end. The third phase, maintenance, begins immediately afterward. Maintenance is the integration of this new behavior into your life. It's not about a grand revolution, but about constant evolution. Continue your observation journal, but now, each week, choose a new small act of letting go to practice. With each small victory, you build confidence. You are rewriting your nervous system, one neuron at a time. Over time, the action that seemed like a huge risk becomes natural. The flow that seemed daunting becomes your greatest ally. The hand that was chronically clenched learns to relax. You begin to notice that by letting go of control, things don't fall apart. On the contrary, new opportunities and synchronicities begin to appear, as if the universe were waiting for you to make room for them. This cycle of preparation, execution, and maintenance is your personal ritual of transformation. It's a living process, not a rigid formula. You can apply it to any area of your life at any time. You are no longer fighting against the current, trying to swim upstream. You are learning to dance with it. You have become the current itself, and destiny is no longer something that happens to you, but something that flows through you. The unspoken secret, the ultimate truth behind this entire journey is this: the life change you seek will not come from an external technique, a guru, or a miraculous promise. It will come from a deep and visceral understanding that you are the ritual itself. There is no separation between you and the creative process. You are the projector, the film, and the director, all at the same time. Every thought you allow into your mind, every word that comes out of your mouth, every emotion you nurture, and every action you take is an enchantment that shapes your reality. There is no neutral moment. You are constantly casting spells, consciously or unconsciously. The question has never been how to begin creating my reality, but rather, what am I creating at this very moment with my frequency? By clearing the mirror of your mind and opening your hands to the flow of life, you are no longer at the mercy of fate. You become fate. You stop asking permission from the universe and begin to collaborate with it as an equal partner. You align yourself with the wisdom of Thoth, of Plotinus, of Lao Tzu, not as a follower who imitates, but as a master who embodies the same universal principles in your own unique life. Transformation is not a final destination, but a continuous dance. It is the daily practice of choosing flow instead of resistance, trust instead of fear, expansion instead of contraction. It is the art of keeping the mirror clean. There will be days when the dust returns. There will be moments when the hand tries to close again. But now you have the map. You know the way back to clarity. Now the individual journey becomes collective. The transformation of one reverberates in all. Therefore, the final ritual is to declare your intention. Share in the comments a resistance, however small, that you commit to letting go of this week. I commit to letting go of the fear of speaking my truth. Or I commit to letting go of the belief that I don't deserve rest. By doing this, you not only anchor your own transformation with the power of the written word, but you join a community of conscious creators. Each comment is a thread of light, and together we begin to weave a new tapestry of reality. A reality based on power, freedom, and the remembrance of who we truly are. Your journey begins now. Write your commitment. If you've made it this far, it's because something deep within you recognized the truth in these words. You are no longer the same person who started this video. Your journey of conscious transformation has begun now. To seal this moment, to anchor this decision, leave your mark in the comments with the phrase, "My future begins now." We have reached a point where your help decides the next step of our channel. If you value the depth of the topics we bring, the best way to ensure they do not stop is by purchasing one of our exclusive materials. The link in the first comment does not lead only to an e-book. It is the gateway to even deeper knowledge and the financial pillar that supports our independent production. Do not let this project become just a memory in the algorithm. Support it, grow with us, and help us continue awakening consciousness.